They don't fucking turn the lights on.
Oh no, man.
I like this. This is funny. I'll just pop the odd comment. Oh golly.
Right, so
Golly golly, would you believe that?
so
Oh,
back
that's
on
been a
stream
million times.
and trying to get back into lobby as quick as we can. Hopefully it's not too far in. Looks like they've already got started though, so we're gonna miss the lights out after waiting so long.
No way. Could I have an invite, please?
Oh yeah,
When you can.
so can you not join my invite?
No, well, let me.
Interesting. Right, I'll invite you before I get commentating
Thank you.
on today's action here at Silverstone.
Shame we missed the lights out.
It looks like we're going for a restart, and yeah, going for a restart then, I'm guessing.
Are they restarting the lobby, or are they? Yeah, they're going to restart the lobby, are they? Do they need to make a new lobby, or? I'm guessing so.
Well, this was an amazing race so far. Send in a screenshot of the grid, please. So, LH44 was pole, followed by Joe Fox, and then Krovi was P3. Tarachi Ratch put it P4. No, I'm joking. We'll go to the stream and have a little look-see. Is it on this stream? Let's go to previous. Oh no. Oh golly. This is a bit of an issue.
Oh. When they make a lobby, if you want to chuck me an invite.
Oh yeah, yeah, sure. Unless they are just using these ones. Well, not an issue in the slightest.
Just slightly, I would say.
Huh.
F1 always has that issue though, doesn't it?
What's that?
With the lobby.
With the lobby, yeah.
Lobby is very unreliable.
Are they in the new lobby yet, or? So I mean, there's still people going around.
Wait, do you need me to go to your stream and get the positions?
I don't know if I can find it because there's no. Because yeah, there's no recent broadcast tab on the YouTube channel, so I can't go onto it before it's actually uploaded. So hopefully we can get going as soon as possible with the race stream. Might take a little while just while everyone's setting up the new lobby.
I like how the extremist says if you need a fresh invite.
Fresh invite, like you cut.
Prime, mate.
Right, there we go. Looks like everyone's DNF'd finally. And the race is over. So, thank you everyone for joining us. And we need to do the restart. It's not all for you today, everyone. So, the Red Bull has won. So, congratulations to him here in today's race. Celebrating what was a very chaotic British Grand Prix. And it looks like we got an invite. So I shall join it and keep you posted. It looks like most of the people are in before they decide to. Thank you. Cheers, Jonathan. Appreciate that, mate. So I shall get in and I shall invite you so we can get going with today's action.
Thank you very much. If anybody is in the Discord, RRC Optics and McNally having a rather lovely discussion.
Let's just get our popcorn out, and you should all have your popcorn ready for what is, hopefully when we get underway, going to be a good race.
Yes.
Oh.
Oh.
Optics with the violation there.
If nobody is in the Discord and they're watching, very much going on about how Anthony McNally has a YouTube channel and he doesn't really care. Basically.
So Anthony is a very busy YouTuber, obviously with a huge following of 4 people. So we do need to work our schedule around himself and hopefully get it started as quick as he can, because I'm pretty sure he has a phone call with KSI after this. So
Clearly does.
Walker.
All my offering
And
out soon.
just been given information that those 4 people are his missus, his kids, and his dog. Everyone's just violating this poor guy. Are we getting going finally then for the race?
Finally.
I've been waiting 45 minutes for.
We're firing the light man. And whoever made this game, Codemasters. That's fun. Why doesn't he ask me? You know,
Some
offend.
Pardon me, sorry for that, guys. Oh yeah, pretty much.
That's brilliant qualifying times.
Oh yeah. Now I've got 4 people watching. Hello guys. So we'll take it semi-seriously from now on. Just waiting for everyone to ready up so we can get going for the action. We've been waiting almost an hour for, after what is meant to be only a 20-minute qualifying session. So with everyone coming to the stream, with everyone in, perhaps we can have a bit of a chat with the viewers. What are you looking for in today's race? It'd be nice to see if we have any familiar faces in today's chat. Any drivers, perhaps? We want to talk about a bit of their race strategy, maybe, or if not, that's completely not fine. Just do make sure to like the stream. No, we got a few. So Tristan with Extremist to Spin. Gavin with shout out to the NWO driver today, and Tristan. So Extremist to Spin. I'll put 3 Frodos on that. I'll only get 3 Frodos back because it's only a 1-to-1 odds. So because it's pretty much destined to happen. Gavin
So-
with super to send it into someone. Will definitely, hopefully, Willis can be be the one to keep you updated on that. Stinson to lap 4 cars by the end of the race. Lap 4? Do you mean lap the cars 4 times? I'm going to go with that one.
That does sound about right. I am sorry for the infant mic mute and then laughing. Do have my sister in the room playing a car game.
Oh.
Which is
That's certainly
very
not well, is it?
very
Especially
not
with your sister. Perhaps mobile games is the only pedal she'll be able to reach.
well,
Puppy Jr.
well.
driver of the day. So he's starting quite far down. So he could definitely make a few paces up. Lap 4 drivers. Definitely doable for Stinson. He has shown quite a lot of pace, especially in quali. So hopefully he can replicate that. Obviously starting a few paces down with his grid penalty. Do have a pretty good race on our hands today.
If they're doing a restart, would that mean they can choose whatever tyre compound they want now?
I'd assume they'd all
And no
have a
fresh.
little bit of a gentleman's agreement to
Yeah.
stick with the tyres they qualified on, but they
There will
will
be fresh tyres as well. That'd be good
definitely
fun.
be fresh tyres. So yeah, if you did make a bit of a mistake in quali and ruin your tyres, then this is your chance to have a fresh jump at everyone. But it looks like everyone's ready up and we're getting ready to go for today's action then. Finally, after what has been 50 minutes since quali started, or about 40 minutes actually since quali started, we're finally getting going. So if you are joining us for the race just now, I'm Zach, this is Willis, and
Sure,
we'll
wants
be
to shout out.
so shout out to senior Rotax champion Jack Tritton, who I believe is joining us in the chat today.
He is
Shout out
watching
to him.
this.
Absolutely amazing driver. Absolutely amazing driver. Tumble, I am trying to let him have some input. I did try and tell him to talk us through a bit of a lap in quali, but he didn't want to, so I mean, fair enough. So Willis, mate, you're more than welcome to jump in whenever you want.
I will make sure I do so in this race.
So,
I'm not the smartest of children, so
Yeah, of course.
we'll make something work.
Hopefully.
I'm sure.
So for the second time, we line up on the grid, and fingers crossed, not to commentators curse it, we have a clean start.
Hopefully the light man can actually do something this time.
Hopefully. Fingers crossed. So if you are watching the stream, guys, do make sure to like it. I'm the only one who's liked it so far, so if the rest of you could do it, that'd be greatly appreciated for the stream. Definitely does help the channel out and obviously the league out, of course, if you are enjoying it. So do make sure to stay tuned for what is looking to be a pretty good race. As I've said time and time again, myself and Willis will be bringing you the action here at the Silverstone circuit.
Personally, I'm just interested to see what Stinson can do
Definitely.
on them soft tyres. He's going to
How-
be marching through the field, I think.
It's just Jonathan's and Walker's chance to perhaps get a bit of a stretch in the early stages of the race, while his pretty fierce competitor is starting a bit far down. Definitely, if Stinson gets obviously in the mingle on the first lap, that could plummet him down. So he just needs to keep his nose clean. He knows he has the pace to get his way through, and can definitely look towards making some ground up, perhaps in the middle stages of the race, because he does not need to take any risks in the early stages. He knows he has the pace, which you not agree. We'll just assume he agrees. So Jonathan Cox, for the second time, leads us around the formation lap, followed by Walker. RPD on the second row, joined by Extremist. The third row goes to Jordan and Stinson, who, after taking a provisional pole position, had a 5-place grid penalty. Hazard then in 7th, Puppy in 8th, LH in P9, joined by the Mercedes of Sonson Pat. iStreams at YT, just off the cusp of the top 10. The McLaren of XRT Crovi in P12, Joe Fox in P13, Tata and Big Macca at P14 and 15 respectively. Tarach, still don't know how to pronounce his name. He'll definitely make a comment of that in the Discord. Predicted pit stop strategy, soft to medium or soft to hard. About lap 11 to 14 is their pit window. Obviously, the strategy provided by F1 Insights over at AWS. So P17 is Puppy, who a couple of people have predicted to be driver of the day. Super Steve, who has been predicted to drive into someone. Smithy and Optics, who started last in quali, looking to make a surgent come through the field, and we can definitely see how they progress through the race, Willis.
Definitely, I do believe the predicted tyre stop strategy would be the softs and then switching over to the mediums on lap 11. I'm interested to see if they could stretch them soft tyres out, possibly till lap 13, 14. Definitely. Okay, good overcut.
Definitely does depend on the track temperature, how much people are fighting and locking up. So it is all down to the drivers to see what strategy they can do here for the race as we go to the lights. Everyone just lining up on the grid, getting ready for the 5 red lights. Hopefully they can be turned on this time, preferably.
You do, right?
So finally we get raring to go then. Engines on.
The light's going to work this time.
Fingers crossed. Are they on for you, or is it just me?
Nah, completely blacked out for me.
We've jinxed it again, guys. Oh no, here we go. We get ready for the lights. 4 lights, 5 lights. And it is lights out, and away we go then. It's a storming start there further back for the Red Bull. Jonathan Cox has a pretty commanding start, able to go into turn 1 ahead of his rival of Walker, but he's got quite good overspeed coming through farm into Village. Is he going to send one up the inside into the corner then? Round the outside goes Jonathan Cox into the loop. Is anyone going to send it up the inside? The Ferrari of RPDJ up a couple of positions. Looks like we have a couple of spinners. Tarachi Ratch is round towards the tail end of the field though. Jonathan Cox leads the way, followed by Walker then as we round off sector 1. Further back, Stinson has a bit of a shaky start then, but he looks to make up some ground, going up the inside of Jordan in the Racing Point car, looking to make up for earlier ground into P5 and storming his way through the field. Very quick driver as well. Puppy Jr. up a couple of places up the inside of the McLaren. This is going to give the Racing Point, who is now side by side with the Alfa Romeo and the McLaren, coming into Cops. LH44 on the inside. Has he got the run into Cops? It's going to be a really tricky move to make. It's a 4-car train then heading in to Maggots and Beckett's. Pretty hectic start, wouldn't you say, Willis?
Very wide. Very hectic start. You saw very big scuffle with Tarach, Ratch, 05 and Puffy. I think they've both got damage to their front wings and might have to pit. Very good start to the race though, I think.
3 seconds time penalty already for Puppy Jr. as he's getting overtaken by DFRL Hazard down the inside. Is he going to be able to keep it around the outside of Stowe? The McLaren keeping him honest, squeezing out all the way to the outside. He's going to have the inside for the Vale chicane up the inside on lap 1. They're going to nearly touch wheels there, but the AlphaTauri is going to have to concede that position. Jonathan Cox leads the way on lap 1, but Walker, it looks, still following him. Got a bit of a glitch on the system at the moment. It says Jonathan Cox is falling down the grid, but he's definitely not.
He's pitting to Ratch. RRC Optics both going into pit.
And is that Stinson as well in the pits? No, Stinson is ghosted. Going for a cutback on the Ferrari. Looks like Tarachi Ratch has retired from the session. So our first DNF, and it's like we got yellow flags and a few people into the pits. Optics, who looked to be making some ground up towards the start of the race, in the pits. But it looks like everything's calmed down now. We've got the grid refresh and all good. Stinson with a few good runs and up into P3, chasing after his main 2 rivals then up in front. RPD trying to keep him honest as best he can. Still got the bit of a train then. Extremist goes pretty wide through Cox, and this is going to give Jordan a little bit of hope to hopefully get inside that DRS range when it comes. 1 second obviously, and the rear wing flap does open to give them an extra about 20 kph speed coming down these two DRS zones. Obviously one on the run into Brooklands and one on the Wellington straight. Looks like we've got a bit of a free car train going on, and looks like Stinson is closing up the ground to Walker and Jonathan, who Jonathan is stretching his legs over the Alfa Romeo and looking to make some ground up. Bit of a shaky wobble in there, but Extremist has made up a massive gain on RPDJ then, coming through the Vale chicane. He's going to have a really close run. Try not to get too much in that dirty air, but the slipstream here should be enough to get up the inside into Village. Is he close enough on this occasion? Not quite. He can definitely
spun it 2-1. He's out of the session.
He's out of the session. He's retired. So further down the field, there's going to be yellow flags in sector 1, so it's going to halt this battle. And there's a safety car then for Streams, who must have gotten a little bit shaky then through turn 1. And wow, very, very hectic start then, and Streams is going to be out of the session. So did you see that happen then? What happened?
No, I think he got too much on a curb, the first curb of the T1, and he just completely lost the rear end. It was completely out of his control. Just completely snapped on him. He was looking for a move up the inside of LH. He was thinking about it, but
very, very
it's not close enough
to end his race then on lap 3 with the safety car deployed then. This could definitely play into Stinson's hands very well. Looks like we won't see anyone coming to the pits unless they have got pretty bad damage. Of course, the safety car out, everyone has to drive to about 40% race delta, so definitely could give you a pretty free, what they call a free pit stop in Formula 1. So you're going to lose a lot less time coming into the pits if everyone's driving around slowly. So Jonathan Cox comes into the pits, Walker's going to follow him in, Stinson is going to stay out for the track position. So very interesting strategies going on. So Stinson has fresh enough tyres to carry it on. Jonathan Cox and Walker both have equally fresh tyres, but most of the field is going to be piling into the pit. So this is going to be a massive shake-up of the grid order. But Stinson, after 3 laps, has claimed the lead of the race. So Willis, could you talk us through perhaps what could be going into people's minds then during the safety car period?
I think we're going to have quite a few people going to the hard tyre here. Yeah, we have 5, 6, 7 people going onto the hard tyre. We also had Puppy pitted on the first lap to go onto the medium, so that's going to work out very well for him, I think.
Definitely could bring a couple of people who had to pit on lap 1 back into contention.
Spun. He's round on the grass doing donuts.
Jonathan Cox and Walker both on to the hard tyres then, perhaps to eke them out to the end of the race. Very interesting strategies then. Let's see if it plays dividends. Very long pit lane here at Silverstone. You come in at the Vale chicane and you don't come out until about Village. So definitely a long pit lane, especially one of the slower ones as well. But a lot of people opt in for the hard strategy. So very interesting to see. Jonathan Cox and Walker, both with really nice pace, going for the same strategy. Hopefully they can work together to try and close the gap to Stinson, who is opting to stay on his original race strategy. So we've got a battle of 2 titans at the moment then, between the 2 strategies.
Yeah, definitely. I see RRC Smith has gained 13 positions off the start. Very good start for him.
So he was one of the other people to go for. Big Mac has retired from the session. Did he spin it on the safety car, or is he just deciding that is enough for today? 3 retirements already then. But back to Smithy, he was the one who started on the back row of the grid, joined by RRC Optics, both having very polar opposite races so far in today's race. Smithy opting for the medium compound tyre, so it is working well for him. He will stretch that late into the race and pit pretty late. So we'll see if there's any more safety cars, because I'm pretty sure that is what Jonathan and Walker is hoping for. There's no more safety cars till the end of the race, but if there is, that will definitely play into the hands of Stinson and Jordan very well.
I believe Puppy Jr. also got a 5-second penalty when he was going through the pit lane, so he's now got an 8-second penalty. Definitely going to affect his race.
8 seconds penalty. So whoever predicted Puppy Jr. a driver of the day, he's going to need a pretty freaking amazing rest of the race. And Smithy, after talking about such a good start, has had a collision with Joe Fox further down the
Joe
field.
penalty.
And
Both
he
got 5
both
second penalties.
being given 5-second penalties for that collision. Any damage on the front wing of this Williams or Haas? Give me a better angle, please, Codemasters. Is there any damage on the front wing of that Williams? Doesn't look like there's any on the Williams. Maybe a bit of minor damage. Joe Fox, no damage done. So looks like they're both good to carry on. Hopefully, at least, as we try and get the safety car in as quick as possible to get the get everyone moving.
Ooh, Puffy, the 17th will just smashed back into the back of Optic. That was very close. Puffy was going just a bit too fast trying to catch up to everybody in the pack.
Oh, and that's Crovy very wide and into the wall then under the safety car. So putting a massive...
with a 5-second as well.
Perhaps there was... Oh no, and that's really unfortunate as the safety car is in this lap.
Puffy Jr. has now got a 13-second penalty. It's just adding up for him. It's just getting worse.
Is not his day today at all.
Crovy is going to drive the day has jinxed him.
So well done, whoever that was.
Yeah.
Good one. You've Gavin, puppy mate. You need to be having words with Gavin because he's the burden for you, clearly. But Crovy into the pit lane, and Stinson, who becomes the effective safety car, can back the grid up as much as he wants until he punched it at the driver timeline. He's punched it early though and caught Jordan out, so he's already got a 1.5 second lead as we go racing again. Diafaro has it up to third as well. Crovy, just to add to his misfortune, 5-second penalty for speeding into the pit lane then. And further back, Jonathan Cox looking to make ground. He's got a penalty as well down the inside of Tan. Oh, there's a bit of 3-wide moment. Walker trying to go through the middle. That's just not going to work. Tan keeping him honest on the inside. Jonathan Cox trying to set up the cutback. Walker looking to get up the inside as well. Doesn't quite get the power down as well as he wanted to. Coming on to this back straight then. Saturn hold on to this position, go into the inside to show his nose. Looks like RPDJ is going to go for a move on Walker into Brooklands. Not quite going to be able to break late enough. Bit of contact then, and that's going to send him wide. They're going to be side by side through Luffield. The McLaren, very nice opportunistic move there and gets up the inside of both of them, but is vulnerable on the exit. So they're going to be nearly 4 gaggle of cars then on the run into Cops. The Extremist YT hanging on very well in the McLaren, and it looks like Jonathan Cox has got in front of the Ferrari side by side through Cops, and the McLaren looking shaky, and the off is round. Walker's round at Cops, and he's into the wall. And after going side by side through Cobbs, he just got a bit pinched on the curb there and lost the rear end. So that is one of our main contenders for the win. Spun round off the safety car restart. Just goes to show anything can happen. So a pretty hectic start then. Further down the field between our main challengers. Up the inside goes RBDJ on the McLaren. Doesn't quite get the run he needs. Is going to allow the Force India Racing Point to go up the inside into the Vale chicane. Squeezes his way up the inside. RBDJ just leaves him enough room. Bit of contact perhaps. Goes for a cutback. Very nice switchback manoeuvre then from the Racing Point as we end at the first restart lap on the hard tyres. So very chaotic restart, Willis.
Very chaotic restart.
Oh, Smithy's slow.
Going into pit. Oh, Smithy's slow.
And he's going to lose out a few positions up the inside, and it looks like he may have some wing damage.
So Walker's going into the pit lane. I don't know what tyres he's going to go on. He might go on the medium tyre. Yeah, he's going on the medium tyre.
But nonetheless, a very chaotic restart as Optics and Smithy look to regain positions. The Mercedes giving him the room to just send up the inside on those soft tyres. He's going to be looking for a resurgent comeback with these guys on the harder tyres. Yellow flags through sector 2. What's going on up there? Doesn't look like anything happened. But yeah, going back to it, a very chaotic restart then.
Definitely, I would say Walker has got a lot of ground to gain on the rest of them, and I think that's a bit over for him, I would say.
Definitely.
But you never know what could happen.
It is racing, could definitely... Another safety car could definitely throw it into the mix. But going back, we've got Tatton going for a move on the Racing Point. Definitely a good battle, but he is on the soft compound tyres. He should be driving past these guys. DRS more enabled once again. Still got yellow flags through the second sector. Just going through Cops. Green flags shown once again. Super Steve with a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Jonathan Cox closing up to his teammate, also trying to make up for some lost ground in P6, and Stinson just striding away. 3.5 seconds is the gap, so his consistency is definitely there for today. The two Ferraris, it looks like Tatton has also gotten past RBDGA, or RBDGA is certainly closed up, so Tatton is struggling off the start of this restart, and not perhaps having the pace he once wanted in DRS then. And coming down to Brooklands, is his teammate going to be close enough? The Ferrari's going to go side by side through Brooklands. He's going to try and keep it around the outside, really close, pitching him to the curb, but he's going to go wide. This is going to give the Williams the chance to soar around the outside of the Ferrari. There's yellow flags in sector 2, but the Williams with a lovely move to get the power down, and Tatton is under threat from the Mercedes as well, so it just goes to show how much one move can affect you. He's going to be up the inside into Copse. Is he going to keep it around the outside? Is his line to take? He's off the track, so the Mercedes claims that position then, and Super C up into P11, so really just absolute mare for Tatton, but Jonathan Cox on his teammate on the run into Stowe. They've also got a slow Soz and Pat up in front. Jonathan Cox and Joe Fox looking to be team orders as well. He's on a very much quicker strategy. Sozan defending to the inside. Jonathan squeezing him to the curb and soars around the outside of the Vale chicane and up into P4. So good gains for Jonathan Cox, Willis.
Yeah, everybody's doing surprisingly well on the hards. I think the temperature's very good for the hards right now. Jonathan Cox is doing very well to hold forth on them hards compared to the mediums and the softs. Extremist also doing very well in 7th, holding off the rest of the field.
Looks like Extremist and LH44 with some pretty good pace, it seems, catching up to his hard runner of Extremist YT as well. So we've got a pretty good battle of equal tyres going on for us today. But Stinson leading the way then, and it looks like Puppy's had a bit of a mare further down the field. We'll just look at the other flags in sector 2. Don't know why there's sector 2 flags being waved. Hazard's also chasing down Jordan. Jonathan Cox being given a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, so that'll be added on to his race time towards the end. Soz and Pat still in the DRS. Steve with another 3-second time penalty. Definitely track limits are certainly an issue then at Silverstone, Jack.
Definitely very hard for Megas and Beckett's to try and keep the car just on the limit without getting that massive 3-second time penalty. Extremely difficult, quite a few of the drivers, especially on the hard tyre with the understeer.
Definitely. All it takes is one little mistake, and with the runoff here, it's quite easy to cut. LH44 looking to make some gains then on the Extremist YT in the dirty air. You know, messing up with the aerodynamics of these modern Formula 1 cars. He's still doing a good job though, managing to keep with him through the Hamilton straight and up to Abbey. He is looking close. Is he going to be able to launch a move into Village? Not quite close enough. Braking late, pushing him through Village, and is he going to send up the inside into the loop? Not quite on this occasion. Clipping a late apex though and getting a nice run onto this back straight. He's going to have DRS, and he may have overtake button to use as well. He's got it open, and coming down this corner then into Brooklands, there's a bit of contact. Wheels are locked together. They come as close as you can ever be, and the LH44 claims that position and soars into 7th place on the hunt for the Haas up in front. And the Extremists put up a good fight. Could not fit a sheet of paper through those two then. And still 17 laps to go in this race, so we've still got a good race on our hands. Puppy Jr. making a move on Tatton further down the field. It looks like there's a pretty big gaggle of cars back there. We'll jump on board and have a little bit of a look. There's yellow flags. Is this Puppy? It looks like he's disconnected, and Smithy lapping in there back there. But Stinson with his gap up to about 7.2 seconds. Pit stop window open for the front runners still on the soft, so this will allow Jonathan Cox to inherit that pole lead position for the time being, if Stinson has managed to stretch his legs enough on these softs, and hopefully he'll come back through the field. But the Haas of Joe Fox is close to Soz and Pat in the Mercedes. Not a fight you'd often see in real life, but definitely looking good here in RRC. RBDJ with a 3-second penalty in the Ferrari. Soz going a little bit deep, getting over the curb on the exit. Not the best exit he needs. Just about gets the foot down enough. He's got a lot more power, ERS power obviously, when you press that down. The MGUK harvests the kinetic energy and heat energy from the brakes turns it into electrical energy to power a motor that gives the cars about another 140 brake horsepower at the push of a button. So that's a lot of power to go to the rear wheels, and Soz and Pat and Joe Fox using it to their best. Soz to defend, Joe to attack, coming through Cox then, and it looks like he is closing the gap. He's still in DRS, he's on the soft tyres, but with equal length as well. Soz getting a bit shaky through Magnus and Beckett, but these tyres are at equal distance, so these mediums on paper should look a bit better. But LH44 and Extremis, he's bought Extremis with him in the DRS train, so Extremis with a lovely racecraft there to use LH44 to get him up to the field and on the back of these two cars. So it's looking to be a four-way battle at the moment, but Joe Fox peels into the pit lane, the first of the soft runners to do so. He picks up a 5-second penalty for speeding, and LH44 gains that position, and let's see if he can launch an attack on the Mercedes, Willis.
Definitely looking good, a very good race. Joe Fox, I believe, is going to go on to the mediums in the pit lane. So is RRC Optics. Optics has done very well. He's gained 11 positions overall before he came into the pit lane. Looking very good.
Very good, and it looks like LH44 is looking good to launch an attack on Sozon. He's got a little bit more ERS, as well as Extremis looking in the background to gain the positions with LH44, of course using the DRS and his quicker pace to help him glide through the field, and it's work dividends for him at the moment. So perhaps it was best for him just to concede that position towards the back, and he's driven up to the back of the Mercedes. So great racecraft then for LH44 and Extremis respectively, and he is a lot closer and potentially really nicely to launch an attack on Sozin.
Sozin is on 11 lap old medium, so they might start going off compared to the hard tyre here, so they might start catching
going off. But LH44 with a bit of a mistake, this is going to allow Extremist to have a run. Probably not the best for these two to battle. Extremist closing up and pushing everyone through this 3-car train through Stowe. So a bit of a mistake through Magnus and Beckett for LH44 is going to cost him. He doesn't decide to dive up the inside. Sozin's a bit scared though, goes in a bit deep. This is going to allow LH44 to have a nice exit then, coming onto the Hamilton straight to start lap 14. Peel into the inside. Is he going to be able to get in the inside for Abbey? It's going to be a stupid move to make. If he does, he's just going to get turned into. And coming through Farming Village, is he close enough to launch an attack? He looks to the inside. He's going to think better of it. Sozin goes a bit deep though, and is going to be on the back foot then. Could LH44 start launch an attack? Looks like our race leader of IFR Stinson has pit for the medium compound tyre further back, so DFRO Hazard has inherited the lead of the race. LH44 up the inside of Sozin up into Brooklands though. This could potentially give Extremist the potential he needs to get up the inside, but Jonathan Cox using the strategy as well as he can. Stinson only 4.5 seconds back on these fresh medium tyres, so he is looking really quick. Extremist YT as well, minus on fuel, so he's going to be looking to save that in these later half of the race, but pushing Stinson through, and he gives him a 3-second penalty through Stowe. But Extremist launch an attack then using LH44 to drive up to this group of cars, and it's worked for him as he looks to inherit a penultimate P4 position. Sonson to the inside early. Is Extremist going to go to the inside? Leaves him as late as possible up the inside of Stowe. The outside line is pretty good still though, and he's just going to force him, bully him out wide and take the line up into P4 and Hazard into the pit lane.
Just noticed Walker is actually making quite a few positions. He is catching up to the pack, slowly but surely, but he's actually looking very quick at the moment.
Slowly but surely, Hazard into the pit lane. He's going to be losing out quite a bit, but Walker, after quite an unfortunate spin earlier in the race, Stinson a bit of a lock up there too, but with a bit of an unfortunate start to the race, he's making pretty good gains. He's still got half of the race to go still yet though, so it could be interesting to see perhaps a late safety car could bring a nice late action for the race lead. But Stinson looking to make up some positions and perhaps chase after Jonathan Cox, who along with Extremist LH44 are running off the top 3. So that hard strategy earlier in the race for now has paid pretty good dividends with us.
Definitely has paid very good dividends, I would say. Well, yeah, 1, 2 and 3 says it all. Super Steed looking very good on the hards. I think he's going to start catching a medium runner with RPDJ. We also have Tatton. He had a bit of a issue at the start, so he might start catching, but he is a bit far away now, I would say.
Interesting then. So the hard tyres looking good. Tatton on the hard further down the field, and Stinson has driven up on the back of Sozin, who is on 13 lap old medium compound tyres. So it should be a pretty much of a breeze with Stinson and his pace to breeze past the Mercedes, and probably he won't put up much of a fight. Will Sozin not too much of a gap up in front as well. So Stinson on his maiden pit stop, only 8 seconds off the lead. So with 12 laps to go in this race, could be an interesting end as Jonathan Cox tries to hang on then.
Definitely, I've just noticed Walker, Jordan and Stinson are the only one without penalties here. The penalty system seems to be a bit brutal around Silverstone.
Definitely a bit brutal, but as we saw there, Stinson soaring around the outside of Brooklands on Sozin. Pretty easy to move to make with his fresh rubber, but it looks like track limits are getting the most of everyone here at Silverstone. Papi Jr. has retired from the session in the pit lane, so it hopefully won't bring out a full course yellow. 5/10 then is the gap between Extremist YT and Stinson. He is making ground very, very quickly. So coming on to the hanger straight, he pulls to the outside early. It looks like Extremist is not going to fight that position very hard. Very good racecraft from him, showing he does not need to fight Stinson. He knows how much quicker he is. Extremist YT with another 3-second time penalty as Jordan is coming through the field. Car number 14 on the Red Bull, chasing after LH44. Second
The tired car of Puppy has just like come straight out the pit lane and gone into sector 1. That might be a bit of a dodgy situation. No, oh no, his car has vanished.
So good thing no full course yellow. Stinson already making a move for second place. He is on a resurgent charge. If you could have a look at the lap time between Stinson and Jonathan, just so we can predict when he may be closing up, if he can get past LH44. LH44 putting up a decent fight, not anywhere Stinson can get around though. Cutting a late apex to try and get the power down. Who has the more power? Stinson has the less power. Jonathan Cox with another 3-second penalty as they come in to Cops. Extremist YT languishing in the background then, just about in DRS. He'll probably lose that through Maggots and Beckett. But can Stinson make the move he needs to get up into second place and have the clear air to chase after Jonathan Cox, our race leader, who is no stranger to the race lead, especially here in RRC. A very good driver, and it looks like Stinson is going to soar around the outside on the hanger straight around the outside of LH44, and the line is uncaged. He is through the traffic. It is him and Jonathan Cox who need to be working. So Jonathan Cox currently doing it 28.9s, 28.3s at his recent lap. Stinson is doing about 6 tenths faster, and he'll probably go even faster now he is in the clear air. Super Steve on the back of RBDJ, both on similarly old tyres. He's going to try and set up a cutback. Can't quite get the power down he needs though. And RBDJ over the curb, nearly unsettling the car and sending it spinning. 4 people now watching the stream. So welcome guys, if you are enjoying it, do make sure to hit the like button. Super C losing a bit of ground then through Abbey and Farm. Can't quite keep it as close as he wants. Soz and Pat into the pit, so that's going to drop him to 9th position. Yellow flags in sector 2, nothing much there. Walker though looking to make a move on optics, and he soars up the inside and gets it stopped as he is on a comeback drive to perhaps some good point positions after his earlier spin with us.
Yeah, definitely, I would say I'm going to do a predicted 8th position for Walker. I think it is looking very good for him. I've been watching him every now and then, and he's driving very well at the moment.
He is, but for 8th position he's going to need to gain about 16 seconds in about 10 laps. Definitely is doable for him, but could definitely be tricky. He needs to just have the consistency and the pace to make sure he can get up there after an earlier spin. Optics though keeping him honest, further back, fresher tyres of course, Optics no lean feet behind the wheel of a car himself, so he definitely has the pace to keep with him, but Walker just has the confidence through Maggots, Beckett and Chappell to soar away, and Optics won't be putting up much of a fight. 2 people with penalties then already in the span of about 3 seconds. So definitely harsh. So Stinson at the moment, if it does stay like this, will take the lead of the race because of Jonathan Cox's penalty. Jonathan Cox's penalty will promote Stinson into the lead of the race, but I'm sure he would much rather win it on track, and he is on course to do so with his speed and pace. 9 laps to go for this British Grand Prix. We're 18 laps in, and what a race it has been so far. A lot of action up and down the field, a lot of chaos off the restarts, and Super C is once again closing up on the back of RBDJ. Hopefully Willis can take us through this battle with the similar tyre strategy going on. The medium with the same age as the hard, but obviously with the softer rubber, shouldn't be looking too good, but he's holding on pretty well, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I would say so, definitely. In the toe, it's probably assisting quite well. We do also have DRFR Hazard going round the outside of Super C. Brilliant move to DRFR Hazard. Super C does go quite wide. I don't think that's going to bode too well for him. DRFR Hazard is going to make quite a few good moves up ahead now on very, very nice looking tyres.
So I'm looking behind RBDJ into Abbey. Perhaps he can do what Super C couldn't with his fresher tyres into Village. RBDJ holding on pretty nicely. Very easy to white line it. Is DFR Hazard going to have a look up the inside into the loop? Doesn't look like he will, but coming on to the Wellington straight, he will have DRS with us.
Definitely he's going to have DRS going down to the straight. I think, yeah, DJ has backed off completely there, letting him have it, because he knows he's clearly so much quicker than him on them newer tyres. And he's just to go on the hunt for extremists. And he's quite far away. But you never know what can happen.
Definitely, with racing, anything can certainly happen. 10 seconds is the gap, but 10 lap fresh and medium tyres is the tyre difference. So, definitely anything can happen. Super C looking to make up the ground as well. Further back, we got Smithy and Tayton, who Smithy with fresh soft tyres will be looking to get past the hard compound runner of Tayton. Shouldn't be too much of a difficulty for him. Optics on the back of Joe Fox though. The Hassie was looking good up in front for a while in the race, falling back just a little bit. But looks like Optics is going to go for it up the inside into Magnus, and Beckett's going to go side by side, and he backs out of that. Very, very good thinking there. You really do have to trust your opponent to go side by side through Magnus and Beckett, and you will 9 times out of 10 just get turned into. So very wise thinking there from Optics. He can bide his time. He knows he's got the fresh soft tyres, fresh medium tyres as well. He knows he's got the pace. He can certainly just look up the inside, perhaps into the Vale chicane if he's letting off on the brakes. But Joe Fox peels into the pit lane, so perhaps some damage and a 5/10 second penalty is coming his way. RBDJ into the pit lane on those soft tyres, perhaps why he let Hazard through as quickly as he did, just because he didn't want to lose too much time on his in lap. So with some late pit stops to go, the order is pretty shaken up. Stinson down, the gap is now 3 seconds. He is making the most of these medium tyres and closing up to your race leader of Jonathan Cox. He's had a pretty easy drive up until this point. He's now got Stinson on the back. Hopefully these two can have a bit of a battle despite Jonathan's penalty and his 15 lap old hards. Stinson though on a charge.
Definitely, I've noticed Walker is coming for 8th position, to be fair, because I've noticed Soz Pat has quite a large penalty, and I'll check how much that penalty is. It's a 9-second penalty, so he only needs to get about 3 seconds, 4 seconds to have a shot at 8th position here. Very good for Walker after his mistake at the start.
But let's just have a look at the championship implications. Walker leads the way with 116 points, followed by Hazard with 63. So even if he does have a stinker today, which he is looking to have, it won't affect him too badly in the driver's standings, though. Alfa Romeo leading the way, them having the best race today, followed by McLaren, who at the moment will be taking what is that? That's 12. That's 22 points going McLaren's way, which will definitely help them close the gap to Alfa Romeo, who at the moment are 36 points clear. So that will definitely bring the gap down rather nicely for McLaren to perhaps have a bit of a hand, perhaps to go for the championship here on the off-season.
Super Steer's got a 24-second penalty.
24 second. That is close to disqualification.
Very close to disqualification. So, you know, the bet on Walker might be coming true. It might even be a 7th. You never know.
7th, maybe more if Jordan he can clear him. Sozon Vat with a penalty, of course. So that promotes Walker into P8. Jordan, he just needs to close up that gap, and Super Steve will be his. So P7 definitely on the cards. Stinson now the gap under 2 seconds as the AlphaTauri is leaving the pits on the inside there. Jonathan coming up to lap of Gagler cars though with a few laps to go. 4-5 laps to go now in the race. We've got the rest of 22, the rest of 23, 4, 5, 6. So about 5 laps to go in today's race. 1.8 seconds then is the gap between your front two. 7.5 seconds back is LH44 looking to pick up the pieces if these two do come together. Obviously with his penalty he won't be challenging for the race lead unless he has an absolute stinker and they both crash into each other. Hopefully we're not jinxing that too much. Jordan LL though on the back of Super Steve, knowing he has a penalty, shouldn't fight it too hardly, but Super Steve has shown some reasonable pace, but Jordan with the slipstream and overtake button should soar past on the run into Brooklands, then up the inside, and he will take that position rather convincingly. A massive lock up though, so Super Steve is going to get a cut back up the inside. Round the outside, he's going to force him to squeeze him so tightly. Is he going to be able to get the power around the outside? He's pushing on, and that is Jordan's corner for the time being. But with overtake, he's looking eager to take the position back into Cops. Jordan not going to defend at the moment, maybe give him a little bit of a squeeze. Up the inside goes Super Steve with an amazing move up the inside of Cops there. Very bold and very brave to reclaim 6th position.
Yeah, so Walker thinking about going around the outside of Sozin Patna, backs out very wisely, almost hits into the back of the gorgeous looking Mercedes car. Go for Maggots Beckett. Might get very good lineup on on those warm medium tyres. I don't know if he'll have a good run. Yeah, he gets a good run as he DRS. He thinks about going out the inside. Yeah, he definitely goes up the inside. Running out of overtake mode. Goes down the inside and he gets spun out by Sozon Pat. Oh, completely turned in on him. Oh, what a shame for Walker. He DNFs out of the session. Shame for Walker. My bet is possibly over.
You and me, what's that, what we agreed on, a Fredo?
Tenner. Yeah, alright, Fredo and 20p.
Alright,
Deal.
50p and a Fredo. But yeah, so let's talk through that incident then. So, going up the inside did Super Steve, did Walker. Into Stowe, it is a very fast corner, and Sozin just sort of held his line and squeezed him a bit too much. And with F1, if you open wheel cars, just a little tap on the wheel and you're sent spinning. So really unfortunate for Walker. He was looking good. Hopefully, perhaps a bit more pace. So definitely could have given him a bit more space on the inside there. Especially knowing he has the fresher tyres. So very unfortunate there for Walker, who was
looking very promising from a bet, but racing's racing.
Up in front though, Stinson within DRS range of Jonathan Cox. Very quiet gain with 3 laps to go in the race.
Field has definitely opened up quite a lot here, hasn't it?
Definitely large gaps, but large penalties, so all still to play for. But Stinson with his tyres there should start to feel a little bit aware, but Jonathan Cox will be screaming. He will be holding on to that position as much as he can. Obviously with his penalty he won't be holding on to the lead. Perhaps he could pressure Stinson into a couple of mistakes, but he is so quick, especially through Cox, and Jonathan Cox does not have enough ERS to defend from him. He's got a lovely bit of ERS, does Stinson, and coming on to this back straight, the move for the race lead has been coming and coming since that safety car period. Jonathan Cox goes to the inside, Stinson soars around the outside coming into Stowe. Is Jonathan Cox going to be able to brake late enough? No, he thinks better of it and concedes that first position. So Stinson with his astonishing pace has managed to soar into the lead of the race, and he will be taking a commanding victory from here, I'm sure, to win at Silverstone with his just astonishing pace and consistency throughout. He hasn't put a foot wrong apart from a couple of lockups, but that is racing. But it looks like we've got an Alfa Romeo, perhaps a little bit further back, or am I just seeing things? It looks like there's an Alfa Tauri with a Ferrari, but it's just for lap position, so just ignore me. But 7/10 Optics and RBDJ with his fresh tyres will be driving away from him. But I still don't know what the order of the race is going to be. We've got 2 and a bit laps left to go. 2 laps left to go, and still all to play for. Smithy though, and Optics going side by side. Joe Fox up the inside into Cops, goes a little bit wide. This is going to get in the way of Stinson a little bit. If he can clear this traffic rather quickly, that would be good. Smithy though looking to make a move on Joe Fox, cutting Chapel, and that is not going to give him the best run he needs, especially when he's trying to make up the ground. He's got pretty even tyres then, does Smithy on Joe Fox, but he's lost over a second then. But Optics, his RRC colleague, looking to make moves on the Ferrari, who has received a number of complaints from Walker in this race. Completely white lining it to the inside, leaves a bit of an open gap, goes to the outside, and very Baku-esque, Optics just drives into the back of him. So double movement there, and absolute calamity as the Williams just drives him off the track with frustration. That's going to damage his wing, but RBDJ moved to the inside to white line it, then moved back over, and then just moves back to the white line. So not the most ideal situation, and Optics out of frustration just drives into him.
Very clear Optics intentions there, but
yeah, I mean, definitely out of frustration and anger, but you can understand why he'd want to do that. Especially with 1 lap to go. With 1 lap to go though, Stinson on the final lap. Negotiating Maggots and Beckett's on his way to what has been an astonishing victory. Jonathan Cox has stayed with him in DRS. Fair play to him right there. Negotiating the final couple of corners. The Red Bull, who has shown such consistency, such pace, and just amazing racecraft all day long with his strategy and the way he played the safety car restart. He comes across the line and he wins the RRC British Grand Prix, followed by Jonathan Cox, who will he keep that P2 position. At the moment it's going to be P2 for Jonathan Cox. LH44 also with a penalty himself, who spun round RBDJ on the final lap.
Optics
across the line.
Down the straight.
LH44 crumbs the line in P3. Will the streamers take that from him though? Across the line, could make a cup of tea by the time it's taking these guys to cross the line. Across the line, he's not going to snatch it, but Hazard's going to snatch the P4 from him, his teammate, as Jordan tries to cross the line. Still everything to play for as they're all crossing the line. Come around the final corner then. Jordan, without a penalty, doesn't jump either of them. Super Steve negotiating the final coming across the line. Super Steve looking to steal anything, can't quite with his huge penalty, and across the line Sozin's going to take it. Will Optics take it as well? Nope, as he's negotiating this bit of beef going on with this car. Yeah, definitely a very damaged car. Will he be able to overtake Super Steve? Looks like he's a bit far back though. So look around the final corner to finish P9. So after a pretty hectic race, it must be said, a lot of DNFs, a lot of carnage, but some very nice battles and a very deserving winner. Very deserving winner in Stinson. I must say it's been a pretty good race and a pleasure commentating. So what are your final thoughts on the race then, Willis?
Very good race, and there were a few incidents, I would say, a bit out of order, but very nice from a first commentary. Very enjoyable to watch, I would say. Yeah. Very good with the medium and hards. drivers going against each other. It was a very good race.
Very good race indeed, and not too much in it. Without Jonathan Cox's penalty, it was only about a second or two in it between the two strategies. So just goes to show those two titans of Cox and Stinson, as well as Walker, who did look good, but got into a bit of a kerfuffle with RBDJ, who didn't drive perhaps the cleanest race today, and got lashed out on by Optics, who in a very Jack Tritton fashion, it must be said, put an end to his race rather abruptly.
Very abruptly. Definitely in Jack Tritton style.
But then, just waiting for everyone to finish the race, and we'll run you through the final finishing order of today's race. RBDJ, seeing as though he did lap a few cars, will still claim that final points position.
Very deserved. Child of the day by Optics. Very good drive. Gained a lot of positions.
Definitely a pretty good comeback drive. So still kicking off in the group chat, but a very deserved podium of LH44 in third, Jonathan Cox in second, and your race winner Stinson in first. So apart from that amazing podium, here's your finishing order then. Stinson in P1, Cox P2, LH in P3, the McLaren in P4 and P5, the BWT Racing Point of Jordan in P6, Sozin in P7, rounding with his Mercedes teammate in P8, Optics after a great drive in P9, RBDJ in P10, Smithy P11, Joe Fox P12, Tayton P13, Crovey P14, Puppy P15, Walker P16 after not finishing, Puppy Jr. P17, Macca, Streams and Tarachi Ratch rounds off the grid. So Willis, it has been a pleasure commentating with you tonight. It's been a pretty good race, and it must be said, for your first time you did rather well.
Rather well, thank you. You did well too. Thank you very much.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure commentating with you, and I'll probably speak to you in about 3 minutes when we join the rest of the people in the party. So good night everyone, and good night for about 3 minutes, Willis.